I'm in front of our lilac bush, and there's a beautiful, sweet smell, and it makes me think of how God says that our prayers come up to Him like a fragrant aroma. Really, I just like the background. But this Thursday is National Day of Prayer, and it's something I've been thinking about lately. You know, we're going through a tough time in our world right now with things that are outside of our control. In my own personal reading, I've just finished First, Second Samuel and First Chronicles, and I'm into Second Chronicles, and there are a few things that I've read about that seem to apply to the situation we're going through. For one, Solomon dedicates the temple, and he talks about how he prays that God will hear the prayers of the people, and that if the people who are called by His name will humble themselves and pray, then God will hear from heaven and heal their land. And I've read about how there have been things in Israel, either disasters or people who have attacked or something. And I've read about the proper response to those horrific things that have took place in their history. And it's a couple things. One is to humble themselves, and that's something that we can do. We can understand that, yeah, as a nation, we may be pretty incredible, but we're not perfect, and we're not infinite, and it takes this tiny microscopic thing to bring us to our knees. And we can humble ourselves, because that's something that God wants us to do. He exalts the humble and brings down the proud. Another thing is to ask for forgiveness. And it can be individually, because I know that in my own life I have things I need to ask for forgiveness for daily. But as a nation, we find in the Bible that some of the leaders ask for forgiveness for their nation. Even if they didn't do something specifically wrong, they ask for forgiveness for their nation. And we can do that. We can say that as a nation we have things that we can ask for forgiveness for. And then just turning to God and realizing that this is outside of our control, and it's inside of God's control. And we can pray that God brings glory to Himself through this outcome. So as we come to this Thursday, this National Day of Prayer, I encourage you, humble yourself as we humble ourselves as a nation, hopefully. Ask for God's forgiveness and pray for His will to be done and for glory to come to Him.